Youth coaches in America are incentivized for the wrong thing. And we at EvoToca are aiming to change that. We're aiming to reward coaches with scouts and getting players on their team, better talent, because we want these coaches who focus long term to get the most talented players. So we want to reward them. And I'm going to introduce the concept of scouts and using such rewards so that we get the best coaches coaching the players with the highest level of talent. So what we are doing in EvoToca is we are inviting scouts from Germany. These scouts work with the top division teams in the Bundesliga. These are not lower tier scouts. Some of these scouts have players playing on the best, most elite teams in the world. So these are the scouts that we will have in this tournament at EvoToca. And the reason that I love that these scouts, and actually before I even go further, what these scouts will do, their role in this tournament is to watch the games, observe the games, evaluate talent, and then identify the players that have the potential to train and play on the best teams in Germany and maybe even other places in Europe. And we are going to expand. Our goal is to expand to scouts not only from Germany but to other parts of Europe, Spain, maybe Italy, England even. But for now, what we have is Germany, but we are always looking to scout for other countries because certain countries may prioritize different types of players. So our aim is not just to focus on one league, but to see what other countries we can invite to this tournament so that we have them identifying talented players at an early age to give these players exposure to what is out there. And this is unlike any, dare I say, any American youth tournament that you see. And that's what's going to make this tournament special. And I love this exposure of having scouts from Germany that have exposure to the best teams in the Bundesliga, because they are not going to evaluate players like parents in America evaluate players. They're not going to evaluate players such as those in the club organization in America evaluate players and teams, because within the American club system, too often the problem is that we evaluate players based and teams based off of wins. We look at the wrong things in players, and this is why we have players who can succeed at the academy level, but they cannot make it to the next level, and they definitely cannot stand out at the highest level because they're only looking short term. So they're gonna prioritize the attributes that dominate youth academy teams. They're going to prioritize those at the neglect and at the expense of the attributes that are going to give our young players the best success later at the professional level, at the highest level. Because what these coaches are interested is not wins. They don't care how many wins the team gets. All they care about is this player talented enough to contribute to the top teams in Germany? That's all they care about. They don't care about how many games has he won, how many youth tournaments has he won, what's his record at the academy level. Is he on the best team in that league? They don't care about that. They can see past that. They're not invested in that short-term thinking. And that's why I love this. They're invested in the how is this player going to be 10 years down the line? Does he have the potential? Does he have something that we can work with and we can help him reach the highest levels of play in the world? And that's what I love about having these scouts here, is that the coaches who focus on the long term are going to get rewarded. Because again, these German scouts don't care. They're not going to look at players and say, I like this player, But what's his name? But how many tournaments has he won? Is his team the number one in the league? Does he play in this league or that league? What I like is that you could be a team that is playing in a low level league. You could be a team that's last in the league, but you can have players that those coaches like better than the teams that are winning all of the games at the youth level. And that's what I love about this. So our tournament is going to reward the coaches doing the right things. We're going to prioritize coaches who reward coaches who are focusing on long-term development over immediate wins and accolades at the youth levels. And I'm not saying that at some point winning is not important. At some point within the development process, winning is important. When kids begin to reach 15, 16, 17, 18, they need to realize that, yeah, development needs to translate into wins. But there are certain attributes that need to be focused on. There are certain attributes that need to be focused on that don't get neglected, but then other parts of the game are also taken into account so that these players can take in what they know as individuals to help their team win and contribute to wins. So there is an importance in winning, but not at the expense of what it takes to develop players to play at the highest level. And this is going to raise the expectations of the coaches, the youth soccer coaches, because now they know if they want to be rewarded, they start having to focus on and prioritize the things that will take the players to the highest level 5 years from now, 10 years from now. When the kids are a little bit younger, it'll be a little bit longer. But that's what I love about this, is that it's going to force coaches that want to be rewarded and prioritized, who want the exposure, who, when they get the exposure, they're going to be recognized. And when they're recognized for doing the right things, the talented players will want to join these coaches because they know that these coaches will help them reach the level that they want. If you have, the problem is when you have kids and parents who want to play at the highest leagues in the world, all they do is look at wins when they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. And when they finally see that a coach who may not be winning all the trophies and who's not winning all the leagues has the most players that are playing at the highest level and the most players that are being chosen by scouts and is recognized as being a player that knows what it takes to coach players to reach this level, this coach is going to be rewarded with even more talent. They're going to get the best players in the nation because now we are going to have concrete evidence. The parents and players are going to have concrete evidence of which coaches are doing the right things to help their players reach the highest levels. And that's what I love about this. So now there's a different incentive. Coaches will not be able to say, hey, we're the top team in this league. Look at my players. These scouts don't care about that. And that's what I love. And I believe that this is a step in helping American youth soccer get to the next level, in the sense that coaches are now going to see that there are rewards for prioritizing the right things. I may sacrifice the results today, but I know that long term, I'm going to get better talent. I'm going to be able to work with better talent. I'm going to get recognized for doing the right things. And I am sure that this will play a part. I'm not saying this is going to do a 180, but I believe that this is a start in taking American youth soccer to the right direction, to the next level, so that we can have more players in American youth soccer with all the resources and all the players we have that are able to make a dent and an impact at the highest level, not just be there, not just be average players, but standout players. And when we have more of these players, then we force other coaches to raise their level and then to also look at the right things. All right. And again, this is not going to be a 180 where we just turn everything upside down in 5 years. This is a long-term process to go in the right direction. So I invite youth soccer coaches, any parents that really have interest and investment in order to help take youth players in America to the next level, to the highest level, regularly, consistently, not once in a blue moon, but consistently, to share this message with others and just promote this message. Do not be trapped or encompassed by the short-term rewards that comes often in the case of American youth soccer. If you've watched the video to this point, I want to thank you for listening to this message, and you can expect more positive messages to do whatever it takes to help improve youth soccer in America.